Act for Impact. Sports Consultation Company.
Are you a professional coach and you're concerned that your team is lacking unity and togetherness? Or maybe your staff and players no longer have that motivation and passion for winning games? I understand how frustrating that can be. Or maybe you're a player and you're down on yourself about your performance and you're longing for effective strategies that are going to keep your head in the game and even improve your performance. Well, if any of these things at all relate to you, Act for Impact Sports Consulting Company is what you need to succeed. Some of you may be sitting there wondering, what does she know? Well, actually, I was a two-sport Division I athlete. I ran track for 4 years and I played basketball for 1. Some of my accolades include being a 3 times triple jump champion. So I do understand some of the pressures and stresses associated with being a well-acclaimed athlete in your community. I know what disappointment feels like, and I also know that getting your head in the game is easier said than done a lot of times. Those things that I mentioned before don't only affect you and your performance, but it affects the entire team culture and dynamic, and essentially winning games. So if you're looking for something that's effective and that's going to be helpful for the entire system, you want what my services have to offer. You may still be a little skeptical, and that's okay, but maybe after I explain a little bit more about my experience, it can put you at ease. I am in fact a board certified behavior analyst, and we pride ourselves in using evidence-based practice. All that means is that everything that we do is supported by extensive research. I specialize in acceptance commitment therapy, also known as ACT, and this is an empirically based therapy. Acceptance and mindfulness strategies are mixed with commitment and behavior change strategies. I also specialize in auditory feedback, also known as clicker training. This has already been used widely within athletics, dancers, fighters, golfers, and this is just the use of a clicker to deliver more speeded feedback. Actually, a study done by Quinn and colleagues, 2015, evaluated the proficiency in 4 dance moves for 3 dancers. They found that all of them had immediate increases in correct performance, and this was across the span of 3 weeks. Another more recent study done by Karuska and colleagues, 2018, evaluated MMA fighting techniques in 4 individuals, and the clicker was delivered as immediate positive reinforcement when some aspect of the crossover move was done correctly. Like the other study, all 3 of these participants had immediate improvements in their performance until they got to 100% accuracy. Now, I know all of this sounds good, but you probably want to know, well, who have you worked with? And I understand that. Well, actually, I've worked with the NBA USA team in 2004. It was a really cool experience. I've also worked with the Cleveland Cavaliers the year that they won the championship, using these very same techniques and methods that I'm talking to you about right now. One of the more common questions that I get is, how will you keep track of this progress? How do I know that this is working? How do I know that I'm investing in the right thing for my team and my staff? And that is a great question. So for an example, for the acceptance and commitment therapy, we like to utilize a lot of assessments. These things are going to assess the ways you are feeling. It's going to allow us to individualize what is needed for the group as well as the individual. What things should we focus on as far as present moment, acceptance. And then we're going to do our intervention. We're going to have our different groups and we're going to work on those aspects of their psychological flexibility. And then we're going to provide those assessments again. And we're going to see, is this improving? Do we need to make the changes? This is the most practical way of assessing this for ACT. As far as auditory feedback or clicker training, as I said before, this is going to be more concrete data collection. So we're going to take baseline. I can remember when I was working for the Golden State Warriors, There was a couple of the post players who needed work on their free throws. They were around 40% free throw percentage. So we evaluated, okay, what is the proper techniques? What is the task analysis of how to shoot a proper free throw? So we took baseline data and we made sure we looked at how they were doing things, how we wanted them to do things, and then we assessed their baseline percentage. And then we implemented the treatment. The treatment, we would use the clicker every time, there was some part of that they did, similar to one of the studies that I mentioned earlier. We would implement that, and then we would measure the progress of the percentage of free throws going up. Now, I like to say, let the actions speak for themselves. Objectively seeing, are they making more free throws? Are they getting along with their teammates? But we do have to have a concrete measure. And so that's why it's so important to have some sort of measurement system. Now, we want everyone to be included in this progress. We want everyone to know what's going on so we can make the necessary changes. So it's essential that we meet at least once a week with the staff and talk about those things, because we'd like to have, a 50-50 responsibility, making sure everyone is involved and we get buy-in from everyone who's working within the system. Now we're going to use a mixture of visual analysis and pre and post tests, as I mentioned. Pre and post is going to be for both, and the assessments, like I said, is going to be the more practical way that we can assess what we're looking for. Hopefully winning games, obviously, is another product, and what's most important is having that better atmosphere, being able to pick our teammates up if something goes wrong, and being able to have that psychological flexibility to deal with different situations. So why do you want me on your team and not the others? Well, number one, I can relate, and that's really important. I can relate to situations and feelings that others can't. As I said before, I was once an athlete, and I understand some of the stresses and emotions that they go through. Number two, my services are unique. Most consultants around here are concerned about marketing, more sponsorships, and business administration. And there's a place for that, but I'm more concerned about the well-being of the players and the staff, the team dynamic, stress reduction, increasing performance, and winning. And number three, it works. I have total confidence in what I can do for your team. So let's discover the possibilities together.
Act for Impact Sports Consulting Company owns rights to this commercial. Call 1-800-888-8888 for more information. Supplies will not last. Get it while you can. For more information, go to actoimpact.com or cccompany.net. Business pitch assignment. Special thanks to God, Papa Martin, Mother Martin, Angie, Tiffany, Joseph, Amelia, Jalen, Deborah, Nicole, Yolanda. Southern Illinois University. Copyright June 24th, 2019.